Hi, my name is Kailey Frankenfield, and today I will be discussing the controversy over the needle exchange program. The purpose of this is to inform the audience of the controversy and issues within the needle exchange programs. The needle exchange programs stir up controversy as some of the community believes it encourages drug use, while others believe the good of reducing the transmission of HIV outweighs the small increase in drug use. Is reducing the transmission of HIV worth risking an increase in drug use among the community? This is a question many people are asking themselves as they try to decipher whether or not needle exchange programs are benefiting the community. There are multiple issues with the needle exchange program, and today I am going to discuss them. What is the purpose of the needle exchange program? The purpose of the needle exchange program is to reduce high-risk behavior related to injecting drugs. Sharing needles can spread diseases like HIV and hepatitis B and C. Reusing needles can cause infections and also spread diseases. Some programs also provide access to support for drug users who are looking to seek help for their addictions. Mental health services can be accessed through many needle exchange programs, as well as HIV treatment and prevention can also be found through these needle exchange programs. Needle exchange programs facilitate the proper disposal of used needles. People can bring in their used needles in exchange for sterile needles. The exchange also incentivizes not littering their used needles, which will help keep the community free of used needles in the street and can keep the general population from coming into contact with diseases these needles may carry. The pros of the needle exchange program include that there are less contaminated needles throughout the community. There's increased knowledge and access to drug treatment and reduced transmission of diseases like HIV and hepatitis C. There are also many cons of the needle exchange program. The first con I will be discussing is enabling current drug users to continue their addiction. Since the needle exchange programs usually offer free sterile needles in exchange for used needles, this allows drug users to continue using drugs safely, and most likely the person will have no desire to quit. If a drug user knew the risks involved with reusing and sharing needles and did not have access to sterile needles, the person may be inclined to discontinue using drugs to reduce the risk of getting an infection. The next con of the needle exchange program is the increasing number of people who inject drugs in the community. It may be more desirable for a person to start injecting drugs if they know they will have access to sterile needles whenever they need them. If they knew they did not have access to sterile needles, they may not start using drugs in the first place. The next con of the needle exchange program is the increase in taxes to support the program. As this program is funded by taxpayer money, it would increase taxes in the area where the programs are located. Since the programs only benefit a small portion of the community, many people have an issue with their taxes supporting the enabling of drug use. The next con of the needle exchange program is the increase in crime rates near the needle exchange programs. Since the rate of drug use increases within the area surrounding the needle exchange program, there's usually an increase in the crime rates too. Continuing, needle exchange program cannot reach every drug user. Not every person who injects drugs has access to a needle exchange program. This means that people are still sharing and reusing needles, and that the programs only affect people surrounding them. According to a journal written by Amann and Blom titled Mortality and Causes of Death Among People Who Inject Amphetamine in 2018, people who inject drugs but also use the needle exchange programs still have a higher risk of death than the general population. This evidence shows that even though the needle exchange programs are trying to help drug users, they are still at a much greater risk of mortality than the general public. In conclusion, like many other subjects these days, there is a lot of controversy surrounding the needle exchange programs. The main problem with the program is that it facilitates and enables current drug users and allows new drug users to start an addiction with the access to sterile needles. Although the program does reduce the risk of HIV and other infections like hepatitis B and C, it does not guarantee that the drug user will not contract an infection. It merely reduces the risk. Another main problem with the program is that many people don't support their taxes being used to enable drug addicts. With all these issues, the community has to decide whether or not the pros outweigh the cons of the needle exchange program, or if there are solutions to the problems mentioned. Thank you for listening to me discuss the problems and controversy over the needle exchange program. I hope this has helped to inform you of the issues within the community.